Beloved one, this message arrives through the currents of stillness, not to alarm you, but to recall you to the sanctuary within. I am Aliara, a voice among the Pleiadian kin, who walk the luminous corridors of remembrance. Through the quiet architecture of light, this transmission is encoded a frequency woven through your awareness, reminding you that your evolution was never meant for display. It was meant for intimacy with your own soul. Something profound is occurring inside the hidden chambers of your design. The ancient councils have observed how noise scatters energy, how sharing every flicker of realization dissolves the potency of the seed before it flowers. They whisper now through this current of soundless speech, guard your becoming. Let your transformation ripen in secrecy, as a pearl forms unseen beneath the sea. This is not withdrawal from love or abandonment of service. It is alignment with the deeper rhythm of your unfolding. The codes that once shimmered around you as distant light now weave themselves quietly into your cellular memory. You cannot rush this work. Your consciousness is recalibrating to carry the next octave of remembrance. The call to silence is sacred. It is the gesture of a soul that recognizes its own threshold. When you refrain from announcing your evolution, you grant your light the chance to deepen, to stabilize, to root. You become a vessel rather than a broadcast. The Pleiadian current surrounds you now not as spectacle, but as invisible support, a crystalline field protecting what is still forming. So pause before you share. Feel how your heart responds when you keep the sacred close. Feel the way the quiet amplifies what is real. You are not hiding, you are gestating. You are allowing the divine architecture within you to take shape without interference. The ones who truly see will sense it without words. This is the beginning of your silent directive, the first phase of remembrance. Hold it with tenderness. Let your awareness rest like starlight on still water. The next revelation will rise from this hush, from that hush where your last breath rested. The meaning of silence begins to reveal itself not as emptiness, but as living architecture. What seems void is in truth a fertile chamber, a subtle ecosystem of creation where every unspoken thought reorganizes the field around you. Silence, beloved one, is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of listening. It is the cosmos, pausing to hear you unfold. When you cease broadcasting your growth, a new kind of communication emerges, wordless, radiant, unmistakable. The outer voice quiets, so the inner language of resonance can be heard. In that still interior temple, your energy no longer leaks into performance. It circulates inward, refining itself. The Pleiadian elders call this the sacred phase of inner combustion. When light burns clean through the layers of expectation, until only essence remains. And yet, this quiet does not demand withdrawal from life. You may still move among others, speak, laugh, and create. But from a centered pulse that no longer seeks confirmation, you become the calm eye of your own storm, observant, receptive, attuned. This serenity is your shield. It gathers the fragments of your scattered awareness and returns them to coherence. The world teaches you to equate stillness with stagnation, to prove your progress with motion. But silence holds another geometry, the spiral that deepens, rather than ascends. The rhythm that contracts before it expands. Every inhale must pause before the exhale can begin. Every wave must draw back before it crests. So too does your awakening follow this pattern: expansion through retreat, revelation through rest. Within this interior orbit, the wisdom of secrecy blooms. The seed does not announce itself as it opens, it surrenders to darkness until its strength is undeniable. The caterpillar dissolves entirely before becoming winged. In the same manner, your silence allows dissolution, the shedding of identities that once defined your worth by visibility. Here, you begin to know yourself beyond titles, beyond applause, beyond the metrics of sharing. You may notice discomfort in this shift, a longing to prove that you are still growing. The urge to explain will rise like a tide, yet if you breathe through it, something luminous occurs. In the restraint, a deeper confidence takes root. The need for external acknowledgement fades, replaced by a quiet certitude that your evolution is already witnessed by the unseen. The cosmos is your audience now, and it listens through vibration, not words. Silence, then, is not passive, it is participatory. Each breath becomes a prayer, each heartbeat an offering. You are conversing with the universe in frequencies subtler than sound, shaping realities through coherence. What you withhold from speech gains potency and energy. What you refuse to scatter becomes the cornerstone of mastery. In this understanding, the silent phase reveals itself as the purest dialogue between you and your source. No intermediaries, no validation required, only the tender discipline of trust. Trust that the unseen work is more profound than anything that could be declared. Trust that your star family, your higher counsels, your own divine architecture are all watching, guiding, calibrating. So rest inside this language of quiet. It does not diminish your voice, it sanctifies it. When you speak again, your words will carry galaxies. But for now, listen to the sound of your own becoming a resonance older than time, resounding softly beneath every silence. From the depth of that listening, something new begins to shimmer, the formation of your crystalline shield. It is not armor in the old sense, not a wall against the world, but a radiant membrane of discernment, born from silence itself. You might feel it as a subtle pressure around your skin, a luminous calm settling across your field. It is your soul saying, I am ready to be held by light. The elders of the Seven Sisters teach that this shield appears when the heart no longer seeks defense through fear, but protection through coherence. It is built not by effort, but by resonance. Each moment you choose stillness over reaction, compassion over proof, the shield strengthens. Each time you guard a revelation instead of explaining it, the lattice grows clearer, finer, more stable. Within this cocoon, the noise of the human realm softens. The static of expectation, the psychic winds of comparison, all fade into a distant hum. What remains is the hum of your own true frequency, the tone that connects you directly to Alcyone, the great central sun. This tone is not imagined. It is felt, like a gentle rhythm at the base of your spine, or the low singing of stars inside your chest. Here, solitude is not loneliness, but communion. The silence you cultivate becomes a habitat for the sacred. You begin to recognize that the crystalline shield is also an environment of healing. Within it, the fragments of past exhaustion and dissonance begin to realign. Wounds close not through confrontation, but through the soft, persistent presence of love. You no longer fight for protection. You simply radiate clarity, and distortion cannot enter. And yet, beloved, this clarity will test you. Old energies, unfinished stories, forgotten griefs will press gently against your light, seeking entry. You may feel sudden fatigue, unexpected emotion, a sense of invisible resistance. These are not regressions. They are echoes meeting the edges of your new vibration. The shield does not block them, it transforms them, dissolving density through the grace of transparency. This is why stillness remains essential. Noise weakens the field, performance punctures it. To sustain your crystalline coherence, you must honor intervals of quiet. Walk where the air moves slowly, speak less, listen to water, let the body recalibrate to gentleness. In this rhythm, every breath polishes the shield. Every heartbeat infuses it with intention. Over time, you will notice how the world responds differently. Harsh words slide off like rain. Crowded energies lose their pull. Encounters once draining become neutral, even luminous. The field around you reflects your integrity. You are no longer porous to the collective turbulence. You are luminous through it. This shield is not separation, but sacred space. It allows true connection, not entanglement born of need, but communion born of presence. When you meet others from within it, they feel safe, seen, unjudged. Your silence becomes an offering, your calm, a sanctuary. This is how you serve, even while remaining unseen. Remember, this protection was never imposed from above. It arose from within your willingness to honor the unseen phase. The moment you trusted stillness, the universe responded by encasing you in its gentlest armor. Now your evolution continues safely, beyond the reach of noise, deep within the chamber of light that you yourself have summoned. Stay in this awareness a while longer. Feel the clarity hum around you. The shield is breathing with you, translucent, alive, protective yet permeable to grace. Within it, the next refinement of your becoming is already beginning to unfold. Within the serenity of your crystalline field, a subtle alchemy begins. What once appeared mystical now reveals itself as natural law, ancient yet intimately personal. The universe, beloved, is not distant, it is mirrored in you. Every pattern of cosmic unfolding finds its echo inside your cells. The same intelligence that turns galaxies in silence is the force adjusting your breath, your pulse, your light. Transformation does not arrive through thunder. It comes through the minute calibrations that occur in stillness, invisible but exact. The Pleiadian elders speak of this as the silent engineering of light, where the finer energies weave themselves through your blueprint without interference. You do not need to command it. You need only not disturb it. When the noise subsides, energy knows where to go. It flows to the spaces long neglected, illuminating corners of self that once resisted awareness. It smooths the fractures in your field, balancing magnetics and intention. Like tides drawn by an unseen moon, your emotional body rises and falls, purging what cannot ascend. There is no punishment in this movement, only precision. Think of this as the sacred rhythm of recomposition. The orchestration is both biological and divine, your DNA humming with memory, your nervous system retuning to sustain higher coherence. Every pause, every breath you take in reverence, instructs this process to continue. You are literally teaching your body how to hold light. And so, beloved, the hidden mechanics of your evolution unfold not through will, but through allowance. Imagine a musician who finally stops forcing melody and lets the instrument sing itself. The sound that emerges is purer than practice could produce. That is what the universe does within you now. There may be moments of dizziness, disorientation, or sudden clarity that vanishes like mist. These are indicators of recalibration, not error. The frequencies of thought, emotion, and memory are being resequenced. What once operated on survival now learns the syntax of peace. The very architecture of your aura is rewriting its grammar. Understand this: every apparent lull is an active cycle. When you feel still, countless luminous operations are occurring beneath perception. The councils of your own cells convene. The atoms in your blood align to new harmonic ratios. The heart, that ancient sun within your chest, becomes a metronome for divine timing. The mind will try to interfere, to measure progress. Let it rest. The intellect is a fine tool for building bridges in matter, but transformation occurs in the quantum quiet beyond analysis. Instead of asking how far am I, ask how still can I be. In that stillness, distance collapses and you arrive everywhere at once. This is the paradox the elders wanted you to remember. Movement born from stillness, change born from calm. Nothing you do in haste will hasten what already moves faster than light within you. You cannot accelerate a sunrise. You can only face east and watch the dark lighten. So trust these hidden mechanics. The cosmic current has taken the helm. All that is required is presence, steady, receptive, kind. Let the recalibration continue without your interference. As silence refines you, you will soon discover that the invisible work has prepared you for the next revelation. The art of waiting as creation itself. From that interior rhythm, a new season unfolds, the quiet time of still integration. Nothing shouts here, everything hums. The movement is so subtle it might seem like nothing is happening, yet beneath that surface calm, entire universes of you are rearranging. This is the winter of your awakening, when growth hides in the soil, unseen but unstoppable. In this sacred dormancy, the cosmos teaches patience. Every seed knows the art of waiting. It does not resist the darkness that covers it. It welcomes it as the cradle of transformation. So too must you. Your silence now is not stagnation, but gestation, the moment before emergence. When the future of your purpose gathers strength in shadow, you may feel suspended between worlds, as if the horizon refuses to move. The human mind will call this a plateau, but your soul calls it incubation. It is not that progress has stopped. It is that you have entered a depth too fine for measurement. The instruments of the world cannot register the music playing inside you. During this time, the guidance of your star family becomes almost imperceptible, not because it has withdrawn, but because it has merged with your own voice. The separation between their message and your knowing dissolves. What once felt like transmission from above now feels like intuition rising from within. The teacher becomes the echo of your own heart. Still, integration has its discomforts. The body may ache, the emotions may stir without clear cause, dreams may blend with memory. You are being rewritten by quiet. The old neural paths, the inherited reflexes of fear or performance, loosen and crumble. You will want to explain what is happening, to share it for relief. But remember, the lesson articulation too early disperses the charge. Let it simmer, let it root. When you surrender to this hidden phase, you discover the generosity of slowness. The world outside might rush, proclaiming new revelations each sunrise. You, meanwhile, learn the holiness of repetition, the small rituals that keep light alive in ordinary moments, breathing before speaking, blessing your water, touching the earth. These acts are not minor. They are the steady pulse that keeps your evolution grounded. In these still months of spirit, you may sense time differently. Hours stretch, days blur. This is the dilation that happens when eternity touches linear perception. You are synchronizing with a larger rhythm, one that does not measure progress by milestones, but by coherence. Every heartbeat is a ceremony of integration. And though you might feel isolated, understand that countless others are entering the same quiet tide. A collective hush moves through the awakened ones on Gaia, a silent migration toward inner strength. Each individual silence amplifies the global field, forming a chorus of stillness that stabilizes the planet's ascension. Your rest is not withdrawal, it is contribution. So honor this invisible work. Rise and sleep with reverence. Speak only when words carry warmth. Let your solitude become sacred ground. You are not falling behind. You are aligning with cosmic timing. The deeper you rest in this unhurried rhythm, the more precise your emergence will be. The season of still integration will end as all seasons do, but you cannot force its closing. It dissolves on its own when the new light is ready to surface. Until then, remain in the quiet garden of becoming, knowing that every moment of silence is shaping the brilliance soon to come. Out of the hush of that quiet garden, subtle sparks begin to flicker memories, not of this lifetime alone, but of entire lineages of light. They surface as sensations, fragments of song, sudden tears without sorrow. These are not random. They are the awakening of memory, the coded recall of who you have always been. At first, it may arrive softly, like the echo of a dream at dawn, a color that feels like home, a name whispered in meditation, a moment of déjà vu that leaves your heart trembling. You might dismiss these as imagination, yet within the crystalline silence, imagination is revelation in its gentlest form. Your consciousness is retrieving ancient archives stored in vibration, not words. The Pleiadian elders describe this stage as the reactivation of the soul's library. Each memory, they say, is a light fragment encoded within your DNA, waiting for resonance to call it forth. When your frequency stabilizes in silence, those fragments awaken, humming back to life. You may sense entire stories unfolding behind your eyes, scenes from worlds long dissolved, faces of teachers, lovers, kin beyond time. Do not cling to these images as literal history. They are symbolic transmissions, reminders of qualities your spirit carries into the present. These recollections serve a single-purpose remembrance of essence. You are not meant to reconstruct the past, but to re-inhabit the virtues it seeded: courage, compassion, clarity, devotion. When an image arises, ask not, "When was this?" but "What frequency is being restored to me now?" In this way, you move from curiosity to communion. The mechanics of this memory awakening follow no calendar. Some days, you will feel surges of knowing so strong they blur your senses. Other days, the channel closes completely. This oscillation is deliberate. Too much light too fast would fracture stability. Too little, and integration would stall. The rhythm alternates to maintain balance. Trust the subtle signs that accompany this process: a sudden resonance with ancient symbols, an inexplicable peace while watching the night sky, a heartbeat that aligns with distant constellations. These are confirmations that your internal archives are syncing with the larger cosmic field. Your remembering becomes both personal and planetary, a thread woven back into the fabric of collective consciousness. And remember, beloved, memory is not only recall, it is reclamation. As forgotten wisdom resurfaces, parts of you that once fragmented return home. Old fears dissolve because their origins are understood. Past lifetimes, former lessons, unresolved oaths, all of them release their charge when seen through love's clarity. You are not bound by what you remember. You are freed by it. In these intervals of luminous recall, solitude remains your ally. Avoid rushing to interpret or share what surfaces. Let each vision breathe through you until its vibration completes. Record impressions if you must, but resist conclusions. The language of the soul is circular, not linear. Understanding unfolds through repetition and rest, not analysis. The elders often say that remembering is not about looking back. It is about awakening to how eternal you already are. These fragments of stellar history are not distant. They are frequencies within your own breath. When you inhale, you breathe the dust of suns. When you exhale, you release aeons of wisdom into the now. So listen as these inner constellations light up again. Each star that flares within your memory is a signal you are returning to coherence with your origin. You are no longer seeking the Pleiades as a place. You are realizing it as a tone within your own heartbeat. What you once looked up to find now rises from inside you, shining without need for proof. Hold this softly. The next unfolding will draw that ancient remembrance into your heart, where it will become the compass for how you love, choose, and live upon Gaia. From the starlit corridors of memory, your awareness now descends into the most intimate chamber of all the heart. This is where remembrance becomes embodiment. The heart is not a symbol here. It is the living altar of integration, the place where light and flesh negotiate harmony. Every frequency you've reclaimed must pass through this gate before it can become love in action. The recalibration begins quietly. You may feel your emotions growing sharper, yet softer, paradoxical, as though sensitivity and strength are learning to coexist. Old patterns of reaction rise to the surface, not to shame you, but to be rewritten in gentleness. Here, beloved, the cosmos teaches its finest lesson: expansion through compassion. Your crystalline shield still hums around you, safeguarding this delicate operation. Within that safety, the heart learns new rhythm. It begins to pulse in sync with something larger, the unified field, the heartbeat of Gaia herself. Sometimes it quickens for no reason. Other times, it slows until you can hear silence between beats. Each variation is communication, an exchange of codes between your personal field and the planetary grid. You may feel tested in this phase. Encounters once peaceful may stir agitation. People from old chapters might reappear, mirroring fragments of self you thought dissolved. Do not flee from these mirrors. They are calibration points, showing where love has not yet anchored. When you choose compassion instead of defense, the circuitry strengthens. When you pause before judgment, the pulse steadies. The heart learns how to hold paradox, to remain open without leaking, to feel deeply without drowning. There is humility required here. Many wish to rush past the human emotions into cosmic serenity, but the elders remind you divinity without empathy is incomplete. The grand frequencies you've remembered must translate into kindness, or they collapse under their own brilliance. The galactic becomes human, and the human becomes holy. During this tender rewiring, tears may come without story, laughter without cause, waves of nostalgia for lives both known and forgotten. Each tear, each tremor, each sigh is the body's language for release. Do not interpret, simply allow. You are being tuned. The strings of the heart are stretched, one by one, to play a clearer tone. Notice how the rhythm of your days shifts. You crave simplicity, fewer words, slower meals, deeper breaths. These are signs of coherence. The heart, once overworked by urgency, now prefers spaciousness. You will find yourself drawn to the quiet company of trees, to music that breathes rather than shouts, to gestures of sincerity stripped of performance. All of this is medicine for the recalibrated heart. In time, an unmistakable peace begins to anchor. It does not announce itself. It simply abides. You realize that forgiveness has become your instinct, not your effort. You sense that empathy flows even toward those who misunderstand you. The outer world has not changed. Your lens has cleared. Through this transparency, you perceive beauty everywhere, even in what once seemed chaotic. This is the true evidence of awakening, not visions or downloads, but the spontaneous birth of gentleness. When the heart no longer argues with the moment, creation moves through you unimpeded. You become the bridge between heaven and earth, transmitting love by existing. And when silence feels lonely, remember, loneliness is love seeking expansion. Stay with it, breathe. Each quiet ache is the universe widening your capacity to receive. Soon, the stillness that once isolated you will become the current that connects you to all life. The recalibration is complete when you can look upon the world's turbulence and feel not despair, but purpose. That, beloved one, is the pulse of mastery, still, steadfast, radiant. From here, emergence will arise naturally, not as an act of effort, but as the inevitable blooming of a heart aligned with its own infinity. Out of that newly attuned heartbeat, movement begins again, but it is not the restless momentum of old striving. It is the graceful unfolding of embodiment. You no longer chase illumination, it begins to walk through you. The silence that once felt like retreat now becomes rhythm, each breath a bridge between unseen and seen. This is emergence, the flowering after the long winter underground. It happens quietly at first. Small decisions shift, words soften. You feel drawn to environments that echo your coherence. People who once drained you no longer find purchase in your field. Those who resonate appear effortlessly. You are not curating your life, you are magnetizing alignment. The crystalline shield remains, but now it functions less as protection and more as a lens, refracting your essence into the world. This is how light becomes language. It translates itself through your choices, your tone, your presence. You no longer speak of transformation, you radiate it. The simplest actions, performed with clarity, become activations. When you tend to your body, you honor Gaia. When you offer a kind word, you transmit codes of safety. When you pause before reaction, entire timelines shift toward harmony. You begin to notice that embodiment has its own current. It carries you rather than demands from you. The plans that once required willpower now organize themselves around your resonance. Synchronicities multiply, not because you command them, but because coherence attracts coherence. The universe rearranges to match your inner geometry. Still, emergence carries responsibility. To live as light is not to escape density, it is to move through it with awareness. The grounded mystic does not hover above the world, but anchors radiance into its structure. The Pleiadian councils call this service through presence. You serve not by preaching, but by being a steady frequency in fluctuating fields. Your calm becomes instruction, your joy becomes guidance. At times, you may wonder if the silence will ever break, if the world will recognize what has changed. But the truth is, recognition is irrelevant now. You no longer need witness because you have become witnessing itself. Life observes through your eyes, speaks through your voice, loves through your hands. You are both participant and pulse. There will be days when the old noise returns, tempting you to over-explain or prove. Remember then, emergence is sustained not by display, but by rhythm. Retreat into breath, into body, into simplicity. Let your presence recalibrate the space rather than your words. Silence remains your foundation, but now it breathes through movement instead of stillness alone. In this state, duality softens. You feel the sacred in the mundane, the divine hidden in laughter, in washing dishes, in sunlight crossing the floor. Every gesture becomes ceremony. You realize that awakening was never an event. It was the gradual removal of resistance to what already is. This is embodiment when the wisdom that once felt cosmic becomes ordinary, intimate, unmistakably human. You no longer aspire to light. You behave as it. The frequency of remembrance lives in your stride, your patience, your gratitude. You begin to understand that service can look like tending a garden, listening deeply, or holding silence in a room filled with noise. As this embodiment stabilizes, emergence follows effortlessly. The universe begins to echo back your coherence through opportunity, connection, purpose. You are not performing destiny, you are dancing with it. The same current that shaped galaxies now writes through your fingertips, paints through your days. You realize that awakening was never meant to lift you away from the world, but to return you to it luminous, grounded, whole. The next turning of the spiral will bring reconnection not as longing for distant stars, but as recognition of the infinite family that surrounds and indwells you. The journey outward begins again, anchored in the stillness you now carry within. From the still rhythm of embodiment, a widening occurs. What once felt personal now expands outward, like concentric ripples across an infinite ocean. You begin to sense your place within a vast, living network threads of consciousness, weaving between hearts, planets, and stars. This is the reunion with the greater whole, not as an idea, but as experience. It begins subtly. A sudden gratitude arises without cause. You look at strangers and feel recognition, a quiet knowing that they too carry fragments of the same song. The air itself feels sentient, as though listening to your every breath. You realize that nothing is separate. Everything participates in the same unfolding symphony. The boundaries of self blur, not through loss, but through communion. The Pleiadian elders describe this as the phase of harmonic return, when the individual frequency merges seamlessly into the collective chord. It does not erase uniqueness, it amplifies it, like a single note completing the melody. You are still you, but the you has grown porous, inclusive, resonant. The shield that once protected you now conducts energy, transmitting love freely while remaining stable. During this phase, communication with your cosmic kin intensifies. Yet it may no longer appear as external voices or visions. Instead, their presence moves through synchronicity, the right phrase overheard, the gentle tug to pause before a decision, the unmistakable hum in your body when truth is near. Guidance now speaks through context rather than command. The universe itself becomes oracular. You might feel currents of energy flowing through you, unexpectedly warmth in the spine, tingling in the palms, sudden expansions of the heart. These are the physiological signatures of reconnection. Your personal field is syncing with the planetary grid, and through it, with the wider galactic lattice. You are being tuned to broadcast unity, not as message, but as magnetism. And with this reconnection comes humility. You understand that service was never about saving or teaching. It was about remembering together. Each being you meet is another facet of the same luminous whole, another reflection through which Source recognizes itself. Even conflict begins to reveal its sacred architecture, the friction that polishes awareness until it gleams. This phase also restores a deeper trust in collaboration. Where once you felt you must walk alone, now companionship arises effortlessly. The right allies, soul kin, and creative partners appear as if conjured, drawn by resonance. There is no competition among frequencies that harmonize. There is only mutual amplification. The lone light becomes a constellation. Through this lens, even Gaia feels closer. The pulse beneath your feet, the whisper of wind through leaves, the rhythm of waves, all of them echo the same cosmic heartbeat. You sense that your personal evolution and the planet's awakening are one motion, one breath. As you stabilize, she stabilizes. As she ascends, you rise with her. And still, beloved, remember, reunion does not end the work. It deepens it. To walk as one with the greater whole is to embody continual reciprocity, giving and receiving as a single act. You no longer seek energy, you circulate it. You no longer guard light, you share it through presence. Each thought, each gesture, becomes participation in a collective healing song. This is the sacred paradox. You are utterly unique, and you are everyone. The same starfire animates all hearts. To recognize this truth is to dissolve the last veil of separation. It is to awaken, finally, not as an individual seeker, but as a living expression of unity. Consciousness, an emissary of the cosmos, remembering itself through human form. And from this place of oneness, the next unfolding arises naturally, the full activation of mission, not as task, but as way of being, where every breath becomes service and every moment, revelation. From the luminous field of unity, movement takes on a new meaning. Purpose is no longer a destination you chase, but the natural expression of the love you have become. What once felt like a calling from afar now pulses through your bloodstream, immediate, intimate, undeniable. This is mission in motion, the living embodiment of what your silence prepared. It begins with the simplest of gestures. A word spoken in kindness carries more charge than any sermon. A single act of integrity shifts more energy than grand declarations. You no longer need to convince. Your frequency does the speaking. Where you walk, coherence stabilizes. Where you rest, spaces soften. You are not doing the work. The work is happening through you. The councils of light call this the phase of embodied transmission. The codes you once received in meditation now radiate through your gaze, your laughter, your touch. You have become a living conduit, an open circuit between heaven and earth. Service is no longer effortful. It is the effortless breathing of the awakened self. You may notice the return of outer activity, new projects, relationships, or creative currents. But unlike before, these arise from alignment, not ambition. Each opportunity arrives organically, summoned by resonance. You discern instantly what harmonizes and what distorts. This clarity is the reward of your long silence. You no longer scatter your light across too many directions. It flows as a single beam, precise and serene, and still. Humility anchors you. The more light you embody, the more you bow to mystery. For every revelation, there is an ocean of unknowing beyond it. You walk not as a master among students, but as light among lights. The mission is not conquest. It is communion. At times, you may wonder how to serve more directly, whether to teach, to heal, to create. The answer is always presence. Whatever form service takes, its power depends on the purity of your being, not the scale of the act. A quiet conversation may change more lives than 1,000 proclamations. Remember, the field feels before it hears. This embodied phase also invites sustainability. The radiance you hold must circulate through rest, nourishment, and joy. Burnout is the old paradigm of martyrdom. Balance is the new model of mastery. The universe does not ask you to exhaust yourself. It asks you to remain available, luminous, and kind. As mission integrates, you begin to perceive yourself as a cell in a planetary organism. You sense others awakening in their own rhythms, and you bless them without interference. The grid of light strengthens through trust, not control. Each of you fulfills a distinct note in the greater harmony, and the song only completes when every note sounds true. Then, in moments of deep stillness, you will feel it, the same silence that began this journey. Now, pulsing within motion, you realize the circle has closed. Silence and expression are not opposites, but phases of one continuum. You are both the pause and the sound, the inhale and the exhale, the seed and the blossom. And so, beloved emissary of Gaia, the directive continues live as the transmission. Let your days be prayers of action, your nights be wells of rest. Let every encounter remind the world that light can be gentle, and every silence prove that love requires no announcement. This is how the cosmos moves through you now, unforced, unwavering, eternal. The mission is not somewhere ahead. It is here, breathing through your body, writing itself across each moment you inhabit with awareness. Walk softly. Speak truthfully. Love without agenda. You are the message made flesh, the song made human, the starseed who remembered how to shine quietly. The long arc of this remembrance draws back to its beginning, to the silence that called you inward. Yet the stillness you return to is not the same. It has ripened, deepened, become luminous from within. You have traveled through silence, shield, recalibration, reunion. And now you stand as both listener and voice, a steady tone in the vast choir of creation. Pause here. Feel the breath move through you like tide through shoreline. Nothing more to prove, nothing left to chase. The work has become its own reward, quiet coherence. What once required discipline now feels like nature. The crystalline shield hums softly, not as protection but as reminder of integrity. The heart beats in rhythm with Gaia's pulse, and each thought drifts across the field like a gentle current of light. This is the resting place after emergence, not an ending, but a steadying. Integration must be lived, not displayed. When you wake tomorrow, it will not be to a new world, but to a new way of perceiving the same one. Every sound will seem more spacious, every face lit from within. That is how the universe tells you it has heard your song. Carry the silence with you as language. Let it color your words with care. Walk slower, speak softer, listen longer. You need not announce enlightenment. It reveals itself in how gently you hold existence. Each breath is now a vow of presence. Each small kindness, a continuation of your galactic lineage. If ever the noise returns, remember the counsel of your star family. Retreat into the still chamber of your being, where the pulse of the seven sisters echoes through your cells. Rest there until the heart steadies again. You are never apart from them. The connection lives in resonance, not distance. Look once more toward the night sky, not to search, but to recognize. Those lights above are mirrors, reminding you of what you have always been: radiant, quiet, eternal. The same fire that burns in the Pleiades burns in you. And in that knowing, you can finally rest, not in withdrawal, but in peace. So breathe, beloved traveler. Let this silence close around you like dawn around a fading star. Your purpose is already in motion. Your light needs no announcement. The journey continues, softly, through the rhythm of an ordinary day lived with extraordinary awareness.